Okay. So happy morning, everyone. It's a Wednesday morning. So we're in the mid of the week. It's good to learn something new. So let's start our session. Today I'll be taking the session 1 of Oracle Jet course. And as you all know, my name is Shiva. So let's move on. So what are the topics I'm going to cover in this session? I'll be covering what is Oracle Jet and why do we want to use it, right? Many people are migrating to Oracle Jet. And we'll have a live demo of how the Oracle Jet application looks and all its, and I'll explain you some of its features. And we'll be going through the basics of HTML in this session. So let's move on. So what is Oracle Jet? Oracle Jet stands for Oracle JavaScript Extension Toolkit. If you observe closely, it's a toolkit, not a framework. So OJet is not a framework at all. What Oracle has done is it has brought a bunch of JS libraries and put it into one place. And it has enabled the developer to choose any of the JavaScript which he uses, just like the tools we use. So it has extended the functionality of JavaScript and provided as a toolkit. And we'll be seeing this in the further session, like how it has done all these things. So just remember for now that it's not a framework. It's just a set of tools which the Oracle Jet has put. So as you might be know, like it is used to build engaging user interface. The interaction between the user and the user interface is the top priority given in Oracle Jet. Okay, so why do we want to use Oracle Jet? Why everyone are migrating to Oracle Jet nowadays? Because as I said, it brings together popular open source technologies. You might be knowing the Require.js, Knockout.js, jQuery, like all these are open source technologies, and Oracle has brought them all together. Okay, so that all these can be used at a time. It supports 28 languages and 180 plus locales. This is not confined to only English language or anything like that, confined to US or English speaking countries. It internally supports 28 languages. And it provides advanced two-way binding. I'll explain you what binding is. There is a model called MVC model view controller. Well, here the model represents the database, views represent the UI pages, and the controller is the underlying code which we use to process the data. What Oracle Jet does, it provides a connection between the user interface and the controlling data. I mean the controlling code. That's the one way of binding. And the second way of binding is it binds the database, the model, what I'm talking about, with a controller. So it provides the facility of a two-way binding. Well, this is all theory. We'll be learning this in practical in the further sessions. It has large set of UI components. UI components in the sense text box, checkboxes, as you might know. It has a large variety of UI components which is not provided in many frameworks. Okay, these are all the customized UI components it provides. Okay, so who are all using Oracle Jet for now? See, Oracle Jet is a budding technology. It's still in its infancy, but yet it is so much powerful that many of these companies are using it. Like they are on live with Oracle Jet. Yeah, even these companies. All these companies are already using Oracle Jet and they are quite successful in using Oracle Jet. So you're in the right path if you're going to learn Oracle Jet. So let me show you the live demo. Okay. I'll be I'll be showing you few websites which are running on Oracle Jet. These are some sample applications. Okay. As you can see, this is a sample application which is internally using Oracle Jet. Okay. To show you one of the features of Oracle Jet, what I will do is I will minimize this. Okay. As you can see, when I expand this, all the UI elements inside the Oracle Jet, you can see it automatically adjusts itself. This is not something which we do in Oracle Jet. Oracle Jet handles it automatically. As you can see, we have a dashboard, incidents, customers, and about. When I expand it or when I expand it like this, you can see all these components. But when I close this, you can see all this is disappeared, the dashboard, everything. But we can still be able to use it when we go to this dashboard, this menu here. So still, when I use this instance, when I go to customer tab, it gives me some. So this is just a sample application where we have using a drop down, right? I'll show you another application which is using Oracle Jet to develop mobile application. Okay. And let it load. Oracle Jet is even used in developing mobile applications actually. Yeah. I'll skip this for now. Yeah, this is the sign in page or anything. We'll just sign in. You can see how rich the user interface really is here. Okay, it's a dashboard. It provides us the graphical user interface. We don't need to do additional like bootstrap or anything as we do. All this graphical user interface is provided by Oracle Jet. See, all these graphs are like as we were talking about the engaging user interface. All these things Oracle provides us, and we don't need to do an extra additional thing. We just have to copy paste the code, just drag and drop, and you get all these components. We just have to provide the data. Okay, let's go to list. Yeah, here you can see the list, and when I select one, it's gonna give me everything, the additional tabs. You can see images coming up. You can also have inbuilt maps here in our application, right? Yeah. Well, these are few applications which are using Oracle Jet. We'll be creating our own Oracle Jet application, so don't worry about it. I just showed you the demo to tell you how rich the user interface really is, and you're gonna understand how easy it is to develop such interfaces. Okay, you don't need to write any additional code to do all those things. If you're not using Oracle Jet, you have to export many such libraries. There's many copyrighted issues, everything. But Oracle Jet is an open source, and you don't find any such issues there. So there are few prerequisite technologies which you should know before jumping into Oracle Jet. Okay, few of them are basics of HTML, JavaScript, which is these two are very much important. We have jQuery, Knockout.js, and Require.js. In this Oracle Jet course, at first we will be going through all these things. First few weeks, I think around 2 weeks or 1.5 weeks, we'll be exploring all these technologies. Once we are thorough with these technologies, we'll jump into Oracle Jet. You don't need to worry, because if you are thorough with all these technologies, you are almost 70%, like you're 70% ahead of learning Oracle Jet. These technologies form 70% of Oracle Jet. So once you learn all these technologies, you're already 70% done with your Oracle Jet. So let's get started with basics of HTML today. We'll just learn what is HTML and what it does. Okay. So why learning HTML? One of the reason is it's simple and easy to use. You will be seeing the hands-on today. Like it's very simple and easy to use. And I don't know I don't know how ADF or any others uh, user interface technology is supported, but this HTML is supported by almost all the web browsers. It's supported by all the web browsers in the world. And now you know how popular is HTML is, and it is used by 90.7% of websites all over the globe. Okay. Now you know how popular HTML really is. So let's jump into what is HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. If you observe closely, it is a markup language, not a programming language. Many of the programmers gets confused, like they get confused that it's a programming language. Well, no, it's a markup language which we use to develop web pages. HTML is used to define the structure of the web pages. It tells us how the web page actually has to be structured. All the web pages in HTML has a predefined structure, and everyone has to follow that structure if they want to develop web applications using HTML. And it also tells the browser how to display the content. Okay. Now let us look into the structure of HTML document. Every HTML document starts with this declaration: the doc type HTML. Whatever the HTML page which you look into will have this tag mandatory. This is a mandatory tag. Okay. And this doc type HTML is followed by the starting and ending tags of HTML. Well, these three tags are very much mandatory for any HTML applications which we are using. Next comes our header tag. Well, this header tag is an optional tag, but we use this header tag to give the metadata in the sense the information about the page in this header tags. We'll be looking into header tags in this session itself. For now, just remember that these header tags are used to give information about the web page itself. And we have body tag. Body tag is what we actually care about. The body tags contains all the UI components which we'll be talking about. This is the most important tags in HTML. Okay. Well, this is the basic structure of HTML document. It starts with doc type HTML, and it is followed by the opening and closing of HTML tags. And inside these tags, we'll be using the header tags and body, and followed by the body tags. Okay. This is the syntax of HTML elements. We have the starting tag name, and we give the content in the middle, and we're gonna close the tag name. Okay. Now we'll be looking into basic HTML tags. Okay, these are quite basic. It will be used in almost all the web applications. I mean, web pages which are running today. The first tag is the h1 tag. Well, let me create an HTML page and show you what this h1 tag does. Is h1 to h6 tag. Yeah, we'll be seeing all these tags. So let me create a HTML. As I said, every HTML should start with, as I said, doc type HTML tag. So let me put this doc type HTML. For my demo, I'll be using Notepad++. You can use any of your favorite editors. It does not make any difference. I'm gonna set my language to HTML. And this doc type HTML is followed by opening and closing HTML tags. Okay. And inside this HTML tags, we have the header tag, and the body tag. And one thing you have to remember when you're designing web application is that these tags are not case sensitive. In the sense, I can make it capital HTML, I can make this T caps or anything. Still, this works. This is not at all case sensitive. Okay, I'm gonna make this proper here. Now that talking about the H1 tag. So let me use it here. I'm gonna use it as H1 heading 1. I'm gonna close the tag. As you can see, we have the starting tag, the content here, and the ending tag. Okay, we will save this. Save as. Okay, here we will be saving it as basic HTML tags, and the extension will be .html. Like there are many websites which uses HTML tags also. The basic difference between .html and .html is there's no such difference at all. There are few browsers which does not support extensions with 4 characters. For those browsers we use .html tags, but for now we'll be using .html tags itself. I'm gonna save this. So now how am I gonna look at this? Like how am I gonna test this whether everything is working or not? I will just go to my folder. Well, I've got it here. So let me open this. Yeah, as you can see, I have got this headings one. Right. Now we know what H1 tag does. And they are telling HTML heading tags from H1 to H6. Well, let us try all those things. We have only used H1. Let me copy paste. Okay, I have H2. H4. H5. And we have H6. Okay, I'm gonna rename these two. Yeah. Now if I go to my browser now and refresh, you can see the different type of header tags here. Well, this is what the header tags does. Now let's go to the next tag. Next, we have something called paragraph tag. If we want to embed any paragraphs in our HTML page, we use this paragraph tags. Let us try that also. A paragraph tag. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the Oracle Jet course. And I'm gonna end this paragraph tag. I'm gonna have another paragraph tag here just to show you the difference. Thank you for subscribing to Oracle Jet. Okay, I made my paragraph element. Once I go and refresh, you can see two paragraphs here. Since our paragraph has only one line, you cannot see any significant difference. So let me copy paste these lines so that you will know the significant difference. You will know the functionality of these paragraph tags. Okay, let me grab this up. Yeah, and also I will do the same to this tag. I'm gonna save this, and then once I go and refresh, here you can see two paragraphs. If we want to embed any paragraphs here, we use the paragraph tag. Right. Let's go to the next tag. We have the simple tag called line break tag. Okay. What it does, like if we want to insert few lines between these two paragraphs or between any such components, we use line break tag. And if you observe that this has no starting and ending tag. There are many tags in HTML which has no starting and ending tag, which can be used simply like this. And BR, the break tag, is one of such things. I'm gonna use two of such tags. I'm gonna save this. So go to the browser, refresh. You can see there's a space between these tags. So these are some of the common tags. The heading tag, paragraph, and the break tag is one of the common tags used in almost all the HTML pages. Well, let me show you few of the website which is using these tags. You can take any website. Let me use this Sanaari.net itself. Yeah, Sanaari.net. Yeah, this is our web page, and you can basically do this. What I'm doing for any of the web page, you go to any web page, right click, and you get view page source. Just click that view page source. You get all the HTML coding of that page, right? As you can see, they are using consulting, database implementation support, and everything here. And also, there are few paragraphs here. Let us see what type of components have they used for these things. When I search for paragraph, you can see here they're using paragraph C. They are using the same paragraph tags as we did, and also they're using something called H3 tags, consulting tag. And you can also observe they're using the tag, the mandatory tag, doc tag HTML, and opening and closing HTML tag. We have header tags here, which is close and open, and followed by the body tag. And when you come to the end of the web page, you see the HTML tag and the body tag is being closed. You can basically do this for any of your websites, no problem. Okay. So as you can see, these are the basic tags which are being used in any of the websites which you open. It's the most common tags which is being used. So let's move to the attributes which we give to all these tags. The core attributes are ID, title, class, and style. Let me show you how each of these attributes are used. Let me go to my web page. And as you can see, I can give ID to any of these tags. To paragraph tags, I'm giving as paragraph 1. Why do we use this ID tag? Why do we want to use this? Because we want to uniquely identify these tags in our JavaScript or any such scripting libraries to get the content or any of such things into JavaScript. Okay, if there are 100 paragraphs and if we want to get the content of only our paragraph, like only the content of paragraph 1 or paragraph 2, all these paragraphs should have a unique IDs, and using these unique IDs, we're going to fetch the content, or if you want to make any changes to these paragraphs through the scripting layer, we use. So for all those things, we use ID tag. It will not make any significant difference in UI. Okay? It's just for our internal purpose, we use ID tag. Next, we have data title. So what I'm gonna use this title tag and show you what it. You're gonna see what is its functionality. I'm gonna give it as hello everyone. And this paragraph tag 2, I'm gonna give it as thank you. Okay, I'm gonna save this, and when I refresh this, well, I'm not seeing any significant difference, right? So what did this title tag really did? Well, when you hover over these paragraphs, you should get a tooltip. You can see a tooltip here. Hello everyone, and also thank you. So in order to include these tooltips, we use these tags. This ID title tag is not only confined to paragraph, it is confined to, it's applicable to all the all the tags which we use. Okay. Next, what we have is the class tag. Class tag we will be discussing further in our tutorials. For now, just remember, if we want to include any style sheet for, like, if we want this paragraph, all the paragraphs to have a particular style, we will be using class tag. We'll be discussing this in our further session. Now, I'll be discussing about the style tag. Okay. So, how to use this style tag? I'm gonna put it as style equals. And inside the style tag, we'll be using the CSS scripting. CSS scripting, I'm going through the basic CSS scripting. Okay, I'm gonna put it as font size 10 pixels. And I save this. Go to my, when I refresh this, you can see the font size is significantly decreased. So there are many, you can use any of your CSS scripts inside this style tag. Okay, if you want to use any CSS scripts, we use this style tag. Okay, yeah. So these are the basic 4 core attributes. There are many attributes, but these are the core attributes which we often use. Okay. Next, let me go to the formatting in HTML. We can format the text using this bold text. Let me try it here. And we can make any text as bold using this bold text. Yeah, bold text or something like this. And let's save it and refresh it here. I got the text which is bold. Okay. We have similarly we have italic, underlined text, straight text, superscript, subscript. So in order to save time, I have a cheat sheet with me which I'll be using. Yeah, I've already typed all these things for you so that we can save time. I'm gonna paste this here. Okay. If I go and refresh, you can see the formatting of the text. You can see the bold text, italics, the underlined text. You also use this strike through tag here. This is the superscript, the subscript. There's still many ways we can format the text. I'm only covering the basics here. Okay. So let me move to my next slide. Well, we have something called HTML block and inline elements. These HTML block elements are something which when we use this, it occupies the complete right width and left width of an HTML page. And inline elements are something which occupies the space accordingly. It does not take the entire space. And one of the popular block elements is the div tag. This is the most popular and the most important. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, where it was. Yeah, it is one of the most popular tag which is being used. We'll be using this tag. Let me use this tag here. Let me use this here. Have this. I will use this div tag inside my paragraph tag. You can see, and I have enclosed it inside. Yeah, I have enclosed my paragraph inside this div tag. Now, when I go and refresh, you don't see any difference. But internally, what is happening is this entire paragraph tag is enclosed in a div tag. Let me show you the difference, like the visible difference. I'm gonna change this style font for now. Okay. So yeah, we got this, and let me show you what difference that div tag makes. I'm gonna put a style tag to do that. Style equals border to pixel. Want a solid border. Want it to be black. So when I go and refresh, you'll see here the complete tag, the complete div tag. It uses the entire right width and the left width. And this is not something because the paragraph tag is using the entire width. Even if I remove the elements in the paragraph tag, when I do this, it is completely occupying the right width and the left width of my HTML page, as you can see here. Right? This is what the div tag does. Next, we have something called span. What if I want only this text to have a border and not everything? Well, here I cannot use the div tag because it's gonna occupy my entire length. So in order to do that, we have span tag. We have opening and closing of span tag. And if I want to give the border only to my hello everyone text here, what I'm gonna do is let me give it a border. Let it be 2px itself. I'm gonna solve, and I want the color to be green. Okay. Once you save this and refresh, you can see the border is only applied to this span tag. Well, this span and div is not only restricted to border tag, it is like you can use it for any other tags. I'm just using the border tag too because it clearly tells us the difference, right? So this is all about the div tag and span tag. As you can, if I go to Sanaari.net, this is being used explicitly. Sorry, where is my browser? Yeah. When I go to Sanaari.net, you can see this itself, this complete thing is itself a div tag. Let me show. Yeah, you can see there are multiple div tags. We can have a nested tag as a nested tag. You can see many such div tags here. So this is one of the most popular tags which is being used. Well, let me go to the next slide. Next, we come to this HTML meta tags. These meta tags are something which goes inside the header tags. As I said, the header tags contains the metadata information about the HTML page. Let me use this title tag here. As you can see, the title of my HTML page HTML tags.html. But when I go to the Sanaari.net, that's not the case. They have Sanaari/home here. So if I want to give some name, the title to my page, I have to use the header tag. Inside this header tag, I use the title tag. So I'm going to give it as basic tags demo. Close this tab. Save this. Refresh. You see, I'm not getting my file name here. I'm getting the title. Well, this is all about the title tag. If you want to give any title to our web page, use title tag. Next, we have the meta tag. Again, when I go to Sanaari.net and when you use the page source, you can see there are a lot of meta tags being used. I'm going to explain you this meta tags called meta name keywords. Well, whatever the content you give, Sanaari, they have given Sanaari Software Solution Training Center, anything. Whatever text you give here, the Google searches for the meta tag and the keywords tag here. Okay, you can give it for our website also, no problem. Okay, it does not give any it does not make any significant difference to our UI. It's just that when Google searches for our page, if anyone searches for Sanaari, it goes to the every web HTML page which has this keywords as Sanaari. So there are different meta tags. I'm not gonna go through all those things. I'm just gonna cover the basics here. We have description. We can give description to our web page. Many such things. Okay. Let me come to our own tags. Like, see, even if I give this tag, it does not make any difference. Let me remove this. Okay. Well, this is all about HTML meta tags. Meta tags is nothing about giving information about the web page itself. Next, we have something called comments in HTML. Well, the comments are few things which the browser ignores in rendering. If you put any of the content inside these two tags, the HTML will not render this. It will just ignore these tags. If it is ignoring our tags, then what is the use of putting these tags primarily, right? Well, comments are something which we developers use. If I have used this paragraph tags here, okay, div tags here, and if any other developer comes, he should know why this tag is, why these tags are being used, or he should be knowing what it does. So in order to do that, we give the HTML tags in this paragraph. This is my first div tag. I'm gonna close it. You can observe whatever is inside this tag will not get rendered in the UI. To check that, I have saved it, and when I refresh this, you don't get this, right? Yeah, this is the comments in HTML, and these comments cannot be nested. All other HTML tags you can nest it, but these comments cannot be nested, and there should be no space in chat of this comment string. What they're telling is, I should not have any space between these two tags. What if I have space? Let me show you what happens. When I have this space, when I refresh, the browser is rendering this tag also. So in order to avoid that, we should not have any space between these two tags. Right? Okay. Well, this is all about comments in HTML. Let me go to the HTML image tag. How do we insert images in HTML? Well, this is the syntax to do this. Let me try this here. Let me insert an image. Let me get rid of these things. Okay, yeah, let's save it and refresh. Yeah, okay, we have image source tag. Here I'm gonna give the name of my HTML, and you can close the image tag like this. You can have a closing image tag, but this is a short form of closing this. In the source, we are gonna give the name of our image file. So what is my image tag name? As you can see, I have saved my HTML page inside this folder, and I have to also have the image inside this same folder itself. If you have it in other folder, you can just give the URL for the folder. Just for the purpose of the demo, I'm keeping it inside this. Well, I copied this link. I mean the name of the tag is this here, and when I refresh, you got the HTML image tag. This is how you insert images in the HTML page. Okay. Well, you see there is an attribute list for this HTML tag. Let's see what are those attribute lists. You have alt, width, height, and border. Let us try each one of them. What does this alt thing does? I'm gonna give it alt. This alt is nothing but it gives alternate name to our image. I'm gonna give it as HTML so scripting language. Okay. When I go and refresh, I don't see any significant difference. There's no difference at all. So what we do now is, so the alt tag comes into the picture when the browser is not able to render this image, or if this image is missing or something else. So what I'm gonna do, I will just remove this image. Now we don't have any such images. Now when we refresh, you can see there is no image, and instead of image, we are getting the text which we have put. Well, this is the use of alt tag. Okay. Now we have width and height tag. Let me use that. Width equals 200 pixels and height equals 300 pixels. Okay, now go here and refresh. You see the size of the image is reduced. If I want to increase the width, I'll make this 500. You can see the width of the image is increased. The same works for height also. Let's see what this border tag does. Gonna give as border equals h2. Refresh. You see a black border is inclusive. I will show you more. I'll show you better by increasing this. I'm gonna give it a 6, so not 26 inch. Now you can see a black border enclosing my image. Well, this is what the border tags. As the number increases, the border tag, the border also increases, the border thickens. Well, this is all about the image tag in HTML. Let me come to the color tag. In order to give the background image, the background color to our HTML, we use the background color. This background color has to go to the body tag because this, okay. I'm gonna give this background color. I'm gonna make it as green, yeah, or I'll go with blue. Okay. I refresh this. You see our HTML page has a blue background here, and we also have the color tag. If we want to change the color of the text or anywhere, I'm gonna remove this background for now. If I want this text to be in some particular color, I'll go with my color tag. I'm gonna put it as red. When I go save this and go on refresh, you see entire paragraph tag is red in color. There's still a lot to explore in color tag, but I'm not going to cover all those things because we are just covering the basics here. Well, these are the basics of each color tag. You can use some hexa coded colors also, like light green, everything. You don't need to remember the color names. You can use those hexadecimal code to get this color tag. Next we'll come to what is called as tables in HTML. Well, this is one of the important things because like many of the application will be using grid or something to display the tabular data. For that, we have this tables in HTML. The tables in HTML should have the starting and ending tag as table. We have to each row in a table is indicated by TR, and the actual data will present in TT tags. Let me show you in practical how this is happening. Okay, so that you will get an idea. I'm gonna remove this tags. I'm gonna remove all these tags. Yeah, now we have a clean HTML page. We will have a table, two table tags. Yeah, inside this table tag, I want 3 rows. So I'm gonna put 3 of my tags like this. This is my first row, second row, third row. Okay, and inside this, I'll just fill up the data using TD. I'm gonna put it as column 1, row 1. Now close this tab. What if I need a column 2? I'm gonna go for another TT tag. I'm gonna do it as column 2, row 2. This is how I enclose. Okay, similar things we need to do for the other remaining tags. Let me copy paste this. This will be my column 1, row 2, column 2, row 2. Sorry, this will be my row 1. Yeah. Similarly, sorry. We'll go with row 3. Okay. Now if I save this and refresh my page, well, I got the data, but I don't see any table here, right? I'm just getting the data. There is no tabular format at all. So in order, there's actually a tabular format which is getting formed, but it is not visible to us. In order to make it visible, I'm going to give it a border. That's 2. Give this a border. You see, we got the tabular format. This is how we create a table in HTML. And next we have caption. You can give caption to our table also. It should be inside this table. So I'm gonna give it as caption table demo. Caption. Give it as table tag demo. When I save this, go and refresh my page, I get my caption. Well, this is the basics of table tag. There are many other tags like table header and all. You can use those things too. Well, this is all about the tables in HTML, which I will be covering. So we have this table tag, this tr tag. Each tr tag represents a row, and td codes represent the data. And the more td tags used, the more columns we're gonna get it. Okay. Now, so this is all about tables in HTML. Next, in order to use the lists in HTML, we have unordered list and ordered lists. We'll look at it here. What we're gonna do is, first I'm gonna put unordered list, UL, and as you can see the syntax here, UL will have li. All the elements inside the list will be included in li. I'm gonna put it as next one. Sorry. Yeah, something like option 1. Okay, now copy paste this. Option 2, option 3, option 4. Okay, and I'm gonna put the closing tag here. I go and refresh. I got a list of elements. These are called unordered list. Okay. What if I remove this closing tag? Let us see what happens. There's no difference. But if you put any other tags inside this tag, then you'll face few problems. If I want to make it an ordered list in the sense, if I want 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of these bullets, I'm going to go with OL ordered list. That's it. And when I refresh this, we get the ordered list. So this is all about ordered list and unordered list in HTML, right? So this is my last slide in this course. I mean, sorry, not in this course, in this session. And we'll be continuing tomorrow about the forms and what actual things are happening in HTML. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Do you have any questions to me? Hello, host. Can you unmute them?
Hi, Seva, it's fine.
Yeah.
Hi, Kishore, Subbarao, and Surendra, and Abdul. Any questions, sir?
Yeah, it's okay from my side, it's fine.
Okay.
I'm good, sir.
Good. Thank you. Abdul, Kishore, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Kindly join the same time, sir, early. Yes. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shiva, sir.